Ladies and gentlemen, time is the great equalizer. Every single one of us wakes up with 24 hours in the bank, no more, no less. The question is never how much time you have. The real question is how well are you using it? High performers, the men and women who create extraordinary results, don't magically get more hours in their day. Instead, they master certain time habits that make all the difference. Today, I want to share with you 5 timeless time habits that, if practiced, can transform your productivity, your results, and ultimately your destiny. Habit 1. Plan your day before it begins. Jim Rohn used to say, "Don't start your day until it's finished on paper." High performers don't wake up hoping the day will go well. They design it in advance, spend a few quiet minutes each night or each morning deciding what truly matters. Prioritize the big 3 tasks that will move you forward. A plan gives you direction. Without it, you become a servant to distraction. One of the most powerful habits you can ever develop is the discipline of planning your day before it begins. It may sound simple, but simplicity is often what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most people wake up in the morning, grab their phone, check the news, scroll through social media, and then react to whatever the day throws at them. But high performers, those who build meaningful success, don't operate that way. They understand that a day without a plan is a day surrendered to chaos. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't start your day until it's finished on paper." What does that mean? It means that before the sun rises, before the phone rings, before the world demands your attention, you already know where your energy, your focus, and your time are going. If you don't tell your time where to go, someone else will. Your boss will tell it. Your friends will tell it. Distractions will tell it. And suddenly the most valuable resource you have, your time, is stolen right from under you. Think about it. The pilot doesn't take off without a flight plan. The builder doesn't start construction without a blueprint. The athlete doesn't step onto the field without a game plan. Yet how many of us start the most important thing we'll ever manage, our own life, without even a rough outline of where the day should take us? That's why planning is not just a productivity hack. It's a philosophy of living deliberately. Now, how do you actually do it? The key is to keep it simple. Planning your day doesn't require hours of work, complicated systems, or fancy software. All you need is a notebook, a pen, or even the Notes app on your phone. The process can be done in as little as 10-15 minutes. The best time is usually the night before because it clears your mind and helps you sleep peacefully. You go to bed knowing tomorrow is already designed. But if you prefer mornings, make it the first thing you do, before you open emails, before you scroll, before the world grabs hold of you. Start by asking yourself, what are the 3 most important things I must accomplish tomorrow? Not 30 things. Not everything on your to-do list. Just the top 3. These are the things that, if completed, will make the day meaningful, progressive, and worthwhile. Focus on results, not just activity. Anyone can stay busy, but only a few stay productive. Busyness is running on a treadmill, lots of energy, no movement. Productivity is running the right race. Every step takes you closer to your goals. Next, schedule those priorities. Block out the time for them. Don't just hope you'll get to them. Put them in your calendar like an appointment you can't miss. Treat them with the same respect you would a meeting with your boss or a doctor's appointment. When your priorities are scheduled, they stop being wishes and start being commitments. Of course, life is unpredictable. Things will come up. Emergencies will happen. But here's the magic. When you've already structured your day, you're far better equipped to adapt without losing momentum. A plan doesn't lock you in, it gives you direction. Imagine a ship with a compass. Storms may blow it off course, but because it has a direction, it can correct and keep moving forward. Without that compass, it drifts aimlessly at the mercy of the waves. And let me share something powerful. Planning isn't just about time management, it's about energy management. When you know exactly what matters most, you waste less energy on decisions and distractions. Decision fatigue is real. By lunchtime, most people have already drained half their mental energy on small, unimportant choices. What should I work on first? Should I answer this email now or later? Should I call this person or wait? But if you've already planned your day, the decision is made. You free your mind to focus on execution, not confusion. Jim Rohn often emphasized the major reason for setting a goal is what it makes of you to accomplish it. Planning is the same. The daily act of designing your time shapes you into a person of discipline, clarity, and intentionality. Over time, this small daily habit compounds into extraordinary success. Because when you stack one well-planned day on top of another, you build weeks of progress, months of achievement, and years of greatness. So here's the challenge. Before you lay your head down tonight, write down your top 3 priorities for tomorrow. Put them in order. Decide when you'll do them. And watch how this single habit transforms your productivity, reduces your stress, and gives you back control over the most precious asset you have, your time. Because remember this truth. You don't get to choose how much time you're given, but you absolutely get to choose how you spend it. And high performers spend it with purpose, because they plan their day before it begins. Habit 2. Guard your time fiercely. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every request deserves your attention. Learn to say no with kindness, but firmness. Time is life. It's not to be wasted on things that don't align with your goals and values. Remember, every time you say yes to something small, you might be saying no to something great. One of the greatest skills you can ever develop in life is the ability to guard your time fiercely. Time is not just minutes on a clock. Time is life itself. Every hour you spend is an hour of your existence that you'll never get back. That means every yes you give, every commitment you accept, every distraction you allow into your world is an exchange. You're trading a piece of your life. The tragedy is most people give away their time far too cheaply. They hand it over to whoever asks without realizing that what they're really giving away is their future. Jim Rohn used to say, don't major in minor things. And that's what happens when you don't guard your time. You end up investing huge chunks of your life in small, meaningless activities that don't add value to your goals, your health, your finances, or your relationships. Think about it. How often do you find yourself stuck in conversations that don't matter, saying yes to meetings that go nowhere, scrolling endlessly through distractions that add nothing but noise? These small leaks add up until the day is gone, and you're left wondering where the hours went. High performers know better. They treat time as a sacred resource, a currency more valuable than money. Because here's the truth. You can always earn more money, but you cannot create more time. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. That's why the successful become selective. They learn the art of saying no, without guilt, no without hesitation, and no with kindness but firmness. Saying no is not rejection, it's protection. It's protecting your priorities, your dreams, and your mission in life. When you guard your time, you're really guarding your future. Every choice has a cost. If you spend hours on meaningless commitments, that's time stolen from your goals. If you say yes to everyone, you end up saying no to yourself. Guarding your time doesn't mean shutting people out. It means setting boundaries so that your energy is invested where it counts the most. Now let's be practical. How do you guard your time fiercely? First, recognize that not everything deserves your immediate attention. Just because your phone buzzes doesn't mean you must respond instantly. Just because someone asks for your time doesn't mean you have to give it. Learn to pause and ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? Does this move me forward? Is this worth trading a piece of my life for? If the answer is no, then the decision is clear. Second, schedule your priorities, not just your activities. When something matters, whether it's working on a project, spending time with your family, or even taking care of your health, put it on the calendar. When your time is claimed in advance by what truly matters, it becomes easier to decline distractions because you're not just saying no to someone else, you're saying yes to something more important. Third, surround yourself with people who respect your time. Jim Rohn said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle is full of time wasters, complainers, or people who always pull you into unproductive habits, your time will slip away in their company. But when you spend time with high achievers, visionaries, and disciplined individuals, you naturally elevate your own respect for time. Guarding your time also requires courage. Sometimes you'll disappoint others. Sometimes people won't understand. They'll think you're too busy, too serious, or even selfish. But understand this. Living without boundaries is the fastest road to regret. At the end of your life, you won't look back wishing you had attended more meaningless meetings, answered more trivial emails, or wasted more hours in distraction. You'll look back wishing you had more time for the things that truly mattered, your dreams, your loved ones, your purpose. So decide today to become a guardian of your hours. Value them, protect them, spend them wisely, because every minute spent well is an investment in your future, and every minute wasted is gone forever. Time is the most precious resource you'll ever have, and high performers know this truth deep in their soul. If you don't guard your time fiercely, the world will consume it for you. Habit 3. Work in focused blocks. Distraction is the silent thief of dreams. High performers understand the power of focus. They carve out uninterrupted blocks of time where the phone is off, notifications silenced, and their energy is aimed at one single important task. An hour of deep, focused work often outperforms 5 hours of scattered effort. One of the most underrated habits of high performers is their ability to work in focused blocks of time. In a world filled with distractions, this habit is like a secret weapon. Most people believe success comes from working harder, longer, or faster. But the truth is, success often comes from working smarter, deeper, and with more focus. And focus, my friends, is a rare commodity today. Think about your own experience. How many times have you sat down to do something important, write, study, plan, or build, and within minutes your phone buzzes, an email notification pops up, or your mind wanders? Suddenly an hour has gone by, and you realize you've accomplished almost nothing. This is the reality for most people. They are busy but not productive. They confuse motion with progress, and the thief responsible is distraction. Jim Rohn used to remind us that where focus goes, energy flows. That's why high performers protect their attention as fiercely as they protect their time. They know that their greatest results don't come from multitasking or being constantly available. They come from immersing themselves in deep, undistracted work. When you work in focused blocks, you give yourself the chance to enter a state of flow, where your creativity sharpens, your efficiency skyrockets, and your productivity multiplies. Now, what does working in focused blocks actually look like? It means intentionally carving out chunks of time where you commit to a single task, no interruptions, no distractions, no excuses. It could be 60 minutes, 90 minutes, or even just 25 minutes to start. The key is that during this block, you devote your full energy to one thing and one thing only. The phone goes off, the door stays shut, the browser tabs are closed. You step into that sacred space where it's just you and the task at hand. Why does this work so well? Because the human brain wasn't designed to constantly switch between tasks. Every time you stop what you're doing to check a message or glance at social media, your brain has to reload, recalibrate, and re-enter the zone. Research shows it can take up to 20 minutes to regain deep focus after a distraction. Imagine how much time is wasted in a single day when your focus is shattered repeatedly. But when you dedicate uninterrupted blocks, your brain has the chance to fully engage. This is where breakthroughs happen. High performers use this habit to their advantage. Authors write books, one focused block at a time. Entrepreneurs design businesses, one focused block at a time. Athletes sharpen their skills, one focused block at a time. It's not about working all day, it's about working with intensity during the blocks that matter most. A single hour of deep, undisturbed work can often outproduce an entire day of scattered, shallow effort. Of course, discipline is required. That's focused work. Focused work doesn't always feel easy. In fact, at first, it can feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. It will crave the quick dopamine hit of checking notifications or doing something easier. But if you push through that initial resistance, you'll discover a new rhythm. You'll train your mind like a muscle. Just as the body grows stronger with resistance, your focus grows sharper with practice. Here's a practical way to begin. Start small. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Choose one meaningful task. Commit to working on nothing else during that time. When the timer rings, take a short break. Then, if you feel ready, go for another block. Over time, expand your focus blocks to longer stretches. 60 minutes, 90 minutes, even 2 hours. The length doesn't matter as much as the intensity of your focus. At the end of the day, remember this: success is not about how many hours you work, but how much meaningful work you accomplish within those hours. Working in focused blocks allows you to harness your best energy, eliminate the noise, and produce results that separate you from the average. Jim Rohn would remind us that the secret to greatness is found in the small disciplines practiced every day. Focused work is one of those disciplines. It's not flashy, it's not complicated, but practiced consistently, it becomes a force multiplier in your life. So the next time you sit down to work, don't just be busy, be intentional. Enter your block of focus. Protect it, honor it, and watch how those concentrated hours build into days of progress, weeks of achievement, and a lifetime of extraordinary results. Habit 4, value people, but value your time with them. Relationships matter, but Jim Rohn taught that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Spend time with people who inspire, challenge, and elevate you. Limit time with complainers and critics. The quality of your time is multiplied or diminished by the company you keep. One of the greatest gifts in life is people. Relationships shape us, guide us, and ultimately determine the quality of our lives. No one succeeds alone. No one climbs the mountain of achievement without the help, encouragement, or example of others. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That truth alone is enough to make us think carefully about who we allow into our circle. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve, if you want to become a high performer, you must learn to value people deeply, but you must also learn to value your time with them. Here's the challenge. Not all time with people is created equal. Some conversations lift you up, inspire you, and give you clarity. Others drain you, distract you, and leave you further from your goals. Some people encourage your discipline, while others encourage your excuses. That's why valuing people doesn't mean giving everyone unlimited access to your hours. It means honoring relationships wisely, investing in the ones that elevate you, and setting boundaries with those who don't. High performers understand this distinction. They know that people are their greatest asset, but they also know that careless association is one of the fastest ways to lose momentum. You cannot afford to spend endless hours in negative company and expect to maintain a positive, productive mindset. Your environment is contagious. Attitudes rub off. Beliefs spread. If you're constantly around people who complain, gossip, or waste their own time, it's only a matter of time before you start doing the same. But on the other hand, when you intentionally spend time with people who are disciplined, purposeful, and growth-minded, you elevate yourself naturally. Their habits influence yours. Their vision inspires yours. Their energy fuels yours. This is why valuing your time with people is as important as valuing people themselves. It's about quality, not just quantity. A single lunch with a mentor can be more valuable than 100 conversations with someone who has no direction. So how do you practice this habit? First, take inventory of your circle. Who are you spending the most time with? Ask yourself, do these people challenge me to grow, or do they keep me comfortable? Do they encourage my best self, or do they pull me toward mediocrity? This isn't about judging people, it's about being intentional. You can love everyone, but you cannot give everyone equal access to your life. Second, schedule time for the relationships that matter most. Just like you plan your work, plan your connections. Prioritize family, mentors, and friends who add value to your life. Give them your full attention when you're with them. High performers don't just spend time with people, they invest time. They listen, they learn, they contribute, and they walk away enriched. Third, don't be afraid to limit time with those who drain your energy. This can be difficult, especially when it involves people close to you. But remember, protecting your time isn't selfish, it's necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. By guarding your energy, you ensure that when you do give to others, you give your best. And finally, become the kind of person others value spending time with. Relationships are a two-way street. Don't just seek inspiration, be an inspiration. Don't just look for people who add value to you, be someone who adds value to others. When you live with purpose, discipline, and generosity, you attract the right people into your life naturally. At the end of the day, valuing people and valuing your time with them is about alignment. It's about making sure your relationships reflect your goals, your values, and your vision for the future. If you want to be healthier, spend time with people who value health. If you want to be wealthier, spend time with people who understand money. If you want to grow spiritually, spend time with people who walk that path. Jim Rohn said it best, don't spend major time on minor people. That doesn't mean you ignore or disrespect anyone. It means you prioritize wisely. Life is short, time is precious, and people are powerful. Value them, cherish them, but always remember your time with them shapes who you become, and who you become determines everything. Habit 5, reflect and adjust daily. The high performer doesn't just run faster. They pause to measure. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to reflect. What did I do well? Where did I waste time? What can I improve tomorrow? This habit of reflection compounds into wisdom, and wisdom, when applied, creates extraordinary results. One of the most overlooked habits of high performers is the simple practice of reflection. In a world that glorifies constant action, movement, and hustle, very few people take the time to stop, think, and evaluate. Yet reflection is the very act that turns experience into wisdom. Without it, you might be busy all your life, but never truly grow. Jim Rohn often reminded us that days are expensive. When you spend a day, you have one less day to spend. So be sure you spend each one wisely. Reflection ensures you know whether you are spending your days in alignment with the life you want. Reflection is about asking yourself important questions at the end of each day. How did I use my time? What did I accomplish? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? These questions might seem small, but they carry incredible power. Imagine a captain who never checks the compass, or a driver who never looks at the map. Even a small drift, left unchecked, eventually leads them far from their destination. Reflection is how you check your compass and correct your course daily. The beauty of this habit is that it doesn't take hours. 5 to 10 minutes of honest self-evaluation at the end of your day can make the difference between years of wasted effort and years of steady progress. It's not about perfection, it's about awareness. The person who reflects consistently may not avoid every mistake, but they rarely repeat the same mistake twice. They learn, they adjust, and they improve. High performers treat reflection like an investment. They know that a few minutes of thoughtful review saves them hours of wasted action tomorrow. They sit quietly with a notebook or a journal, away from distractions, and capture the lessons of the day. What went well? What drained energy? Where did I say yes when I should have said no? Which priorities received my attention, and which ones did I neglect? By writing these things down, they turn vague feelings into clear insights. And with clarity comes power, the power to adjust. Because reflection alone isn't enough. You must also adjust. Some people reflect endlessly but never change. They identify their mistakes, but they continue to repeat them. True growth happens when reflection leads to new action. When you notice a weakness, you decide how to strengthen it. When you notice wasted time, you decide how to eliminate it. When you notice progress, you decide how to amplify it. Reflection shows you the mirror. Adjustment helps you improve what you see. Think of it like an athlete reviewing game footage. They don't just watch the replay to admire their performance. They study it to see where they missed opportunities, where they could have moved faster, where they could have chosen differently. Then they take that insight back into practice. Day after day, review and correction builds mastery. Your life deserves the same attention. This habit also creates gratitude. When you pause each day to reflect, you not only see your mistakes, you also notice your victories. You acknowledge the progress you've made, however small. You appreciate the people who helped you. You recognize the moments worth celebrating. Gratitude fuels motivation, and motivation fuels action. Reflection, therefore, becomes not only a tool for correction, but also a source of encouragement. Jim Rohn often said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Reflection and adjustment are forms of discipline. They are the quiet bridge that connects your intentions to your results. Without them, you might set goals, but you'll drift. With them, you turn every day into a stepping stone toward mastery. So tonight, before you end your day, take a few minutes, sit in silence, ask yourself the questions that matter, write down your insights, then commit to one small adjustment for tomorrow. Do this daily and watch how your life compounds into greatness, not through sudden bursts of change, but through steady, thoughtful course corrections. Because in the end, success is not about never making mistakes. It's about refusing to make the same mistakes over and over. Reflection gives you the awareness. Adjustment gives you the power. And together they give you a life of progress, purpose, and fulfillment. So there you have it. 5 timeless time habits. Plan your day before it begins. Guard your time fiercely. Work in focused blocks. Value people, but value your time with them. Reflect and adjust daily. Master these, and you'll discover that time is not your enemy, but your greatest ally. Jim Rohn said it best. Either you run the day or the day runs you. The choice, my friends, is yours. Thank you.